Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. Today's card project features some really cool products from Gina Designs. I've had these in the craft/dining room for about 6 months, and I was cleaning the other day and found the pocket with all the products, and I was like, let's do this. Let's do this. The products are part of this layering stencil bundle. There is so much you can do with them, and I am so excited to show you this masking project with the stencil. And I think maybe I did my top 10 videos of the year too soon, because I love this one. This idea can be done with any layering stencil. It's just a cool way to create one layer for a base for any card project. Stick around, that card project is coming up next. So here's a look at a little hello. This is a set that you can purchase together. So you get a stencil set, stamps, and dies. Now I've had this for a while, and it's just been sitting in my little box that I keep for things I want to create, and I'm so excited to create a card with this today. I've got a few inks here from Gina. I've got some bubblegum, what is this, passionate pink and sweet mango, plus a little jelly bean green, and I've got a piece of Gina's heavy base weight white cardstock. I think what I'm going to do is a card with some masking. So I've got masking magic. I'm gonna do some magical things with masking, and hopefully it'll all turn out. So let's begin. The first thing I need to do is add a score line to the card base, because I'm going to create a one layer card. It's a little different for me, so wish me luck. I'm going to score this right at 5.5 inches, but I'm not going to fold this because we're going to be doing our stenciling and getting everything lined up and looking at that score line to be the guide. Next, I need to create my masks. And what I'm going to do here, let's see if this will work, is I'm going to pull out a full sheet of masking magic. Let's see, can I fit that all in there? I don't think that I can. So what I'm going to do with my mini trimmer is I'm just going to cut off, let's see here, how tall is that? I'm going to cut off about 1 inch so that I can easily trim the sides, because that right there is not long enough. So I'm just going to cut a little piece here like that. That is definitely going to be long enough, and I will save this. I save every single piece of masking magic in a pocket, and that way every little strip is good to go. So we are going to cut, let's see here, I'm going to try to do 1 inch. Oh, well, we'll just come all the way over here. We'll go to 1 1/4. How about 1.5 inches? 1.5 inches, making sure top and bottom it's perfectly lined up, and cut. There is one mask, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. And this, again, go to 1 1/4. Make sure that's lined up at the bottom as well. Cut. So now I have 2 mask strips, although that one I did do larger, didn't I? Yeah, we're gonna bring it down a little. Had my measurement off by just a little. I don't want 1.5, I want 1 1/4. There we go. 1 1/4 and 1 1/4. And again, I will save, where's that little piece? These friends, and just pop them right back into this pocket. In fact, it looks like I need to order some new. Next, I am going to put these down onto the front of the card base. So we'll do this, we'll just pick it up, take the backers off, and I think I'm going to come in this way just so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to overlap a little, and I'm just going to go over the edge a tiny bit just to make sure, see that? Just to make sure we are completely masked right to the edge, because this is going to be a single layer card. And we'll do the same thing over here, taking care to cover both sides, make sure it's straight. You can kind of see through the masking paper, so that's kind of nice. And that is going to be our live area where we blend. Now, in an effort to save masking magic, I'm going to use some of this Heffy Doodle tape to cover up the fold area of the card. So we have a little bit of prep to get started, right? You can kind of see that. But now we are ready to start ink blending with our stencil. So I'm going to bring in my Make Art Station. And I think this will work. Well, we'll see. We're going to just line it up right there, make sure we're fitting in. This is where I could see how having the larger one could be kind of cool, but I'm just going to tape this into place using the tape, okay? I'm going to get the stencils out. We are going to start with our background first. Now, here's what I want to do. I just want to line this up so I have a little here, and a little here. See that? We're just kind of creating our own little masked look. Now, hold this in place. Bring down the stencil. Bring down the stencil. Or the magnet. Now, I think what I'll do too, just because I think this could be cool, I'm going to create a little circle up here because that can be my guide for perfectly lining up the stencil on the mask. Does that make sense? Okay, this is very exciting. We're going to bring in Dusty Rose, and I'm going to bring in my pink brush from Gina. And I'm actually going to take a little cloth here and just run the brush over the cloth, depending on what was on here the last time. It just sort of reinvigorates it, gets the brushes nice and soft, and gets the ink off. You can use paper towel or whatever you have. Load up my brush. See what that looks like there. I think this will look very nice. And we are going to ink blend through the stencil. Okay. And I'm going with sort of a light hand, I guess, because I want this to have sort of a light feel. Not anything too heavy. And everything on this is going to come in the pink. So the little dots, like that. Like that. Maybe a little darker in the center. Just like that. Load up. And also the magnets hold it securely in place. I've done ink blending in my Misty too, because I kind of love how the magnets will hold everything in place, but you can also use one of these Make Art Stations, which they're very cool. A little darker there. Now we're going to move you up. Oh, I should have my Simon pad here. Now let's get a pink one so it looks cute. My Simon pad. There we go. That will hold it while I'm ink blending. And bring this in. All right, I think that looks nice. So we have these things in here. We have our little dots done. That dot doesn't matter. And that's layer 1. Moving on to layer 2. And layer 2, I'm going to add some detail and some greenery. So this will be a little tricky because I am not 100% sure how I'm going to isolate the greenery. But I do know that by lining up those circles just like that, look at that. Now everything is perfectly lined up and is not going to move anything strangely. So I think actually what I can do now is bring in a little more tape. Let's go like that. And these can be moved as needed. How about like, trying to cover that up. Perfect. And that way I can do my pink detail. And that is going to be the Passionate Pink. So let's do that. Load up my brush. You can see how that's a little darker. No greenery will be exposed here, and we're just adding in a little Passionate Pink for a little detail. Great. Now, let's move on to the next one. That. Cover up that. These are actually very easy to avoid. So it's a very easy stencil to use. And actually, I'll just put my finger there to keep it. Because if I got a little pink ink on my finger, well, I guess it wouldn't matter at all because look at my polish. I may have planned this. Okay, those little details on there. And coming down for the details at the bottom. That. Why did I pick this one up too? But the magnets are just great because they just hold it all in place, right? And you know, nothing's really happening. I think I'll take just a tiny bit here. Slide you up and pop you down. There we go. And bring that in. Okay. Like that. You can see that masking line. This will look just fine as it hits that. Take these off. So we have Jelly Bean Green. I'll get my green brush and let's mask off the pinks. Actually, I think I'll go that way. And let's go that way too. Okay. Magnet back on. Flip this over. Open up the green. Load up. Oh, it's such a pretty color. It's one of my favorite green inks. Okay, make sure that's down and bring that in for a little greenery like that. And again, it really just matters where the mask is. So we're doing that. That, and then just kind of wipe that away too. I could wipe this with a cloth, actually. You know what? Why don't I? Just to be safe. Get some of that so we don't pick it up. And now I need one more little piece here. And of course you can use, you know, whatever piece of paper you have will work. I don't want to use my stamp chamois because I've done that before where I wiped some of the ink away with a stamp chamois and I accidentally squeezed liquid through my stencil and then it all got blurry and weird. So we're not doing that today. Today we're just trying to do it like this. Okay. Great. Just like that. And again, I'm just going to put this right here to make sure that I do not go to the edge of the card base with that. Okay? Coming together. So now we have that in the center. And we're going to come in with our final bit, which is going to be orange, and I think it's going to look fantastic in here. So again, we are lining up our circles. See how easy that is to line up? Oh, it's so good. Okay. Make sure they're perfectly lined up in there. You know what? I think I need another ink color. I guess I kind of forgot about that. So let me grab grass green, but now I really want to make sure that those green details are perfectly lined up. Actually, I think I'm going to focus on the orange centers first. Get the sweet mango. And I should tap that too just to see. Load up the brush. All right. And I guess in we go. Like that. Going to give us very cute little centers. Okay. That. Let's just pick that up a little tiny bit because I feel like that one might have shifted a tiny bit like that. All right. Once you get to this part, it's so easy to see it. Little tiny orange dot right in there. Yeah. And I think that's it. Okay, lift this up. So now I've got my orange centers, and I am going to wipe this down just a little bit, try to get some of that off, wipe it off with these e-cloths. They're so good for this sort of thing. So we come back to our dots, right? Get the general gist lined up, but then really focus in on, oh, that looks perfect. Oh, maybe I didn't need to do all the hoopla. Let's cover up these guys. Perfect. And let's get our grass green. And let's go like that. Just kind of tap off and just add detail. There's not much. Just a little. Like that. And it'll just be a little subtle, you know? Just a little. Hide that little friend. And this. Okay. That is all we're doing for the panel of this card. Now I should make sure my hands are dry though, and ink free before I start touching. Sometimes I forget and I have ink all over myself. So let us take these off like that. Okay. Oh, that is very cool. But check it out. This is what's going to be super fun for this card. We're going to do our peel and our reveal. Let's take this one off. So that's protecting the top of the card. Oh, I guess it's all going to come at once. So here we go. Ready? Oh, look at that crisp line. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. And up here, like that. Look at that gorgeous little masked center. Is that cool or what? Next, I'm going to take some of the heavy base weight cardstock and cut a shadow layer with the hello. And I'm going to see if I can squeeze in, let's see, how would I do this? A couple layers of the white like that maybe? How about if I get it right like that? All right, pop that on and let's run that through. And now I have my shadow layer for the greeting and the delicate hello. Let's see how that cuts out. Very delicate. I don't want to bend too hard, so we'll just go around the outside edge here. You can always take a piece of craft foam and then you just sort of, you either press into it like that and it will kind of help you get things out without bending. Like that. Oops, let's go like that. Push, push, push. So you can push on the fill paper, the background part of it, but not the actual delicate die. Now this might be something too that I might enjoy more cutting out with my Gemini, just because sometimes I feel like my Gemini gives more pressure than perhaps I do because of my wrist. But you'll see here, I'm doing this just to build up some dimension because I'm going to cut another hello out of some different cardstock. Next, I'm going to take one of my super thin cuts and then I cut one out of matte silver cardstock, okay? And that I thought would be a really pretty top layer. So I am going to put spray adhesive on the back of two so I can build up some dimension. I have the Elmer's Craft Bond. And people have asked me, do you have much wiggle room with this? And the answer is not really, but the reason I like it, it's just such a fast way to add adhesive. So let's give it a quick spray. I always test it to make sure, and hold your breath. Just like that. Now, I have an extra set of tweezers that I use just to be picking this stuff up. So I'm going to pick it up out of the box like that. Now, of course, this is so delicate. It's a little tricky. So you just kind of want to start with, you know, one side and then see if you can get it lined up and work your way around. Now this one's a little trickier. So I have the tiniest amount of wiggle room to get these pieces lined up. But I can do it. It's not perfect. Get in there. Come on now, get over there. These little delicate ones, they do, you know, they take a little practice. But here's the thing. Even if you mess it up, you can start again. So here I'm trying to wiggle that over a tiny bit. Just trying to see if that's lined up enough. You know what? I think that's going to be just fine. Let me bring in the other super shiny down there and then see if I can get the outer friends lined up nicely. Because even with a little of the white showing, it would be fine because it's going on a white shadow layer. So that way we get a little dimension, right? And let's just press that down and let that really adhere. Then we'll add a little more spray adhesive to the back of this whole piece. It's always a little easier once you get to the shadow layer phase because that just wants to pop right in there. And that is going to give us this beautiful background for our delicate hello. Let that adhere. So now I want to put some foam squares on the back just to give that little bit of separation and a little bit of dimension. And these are just the regular depth of foam square. So not the thin ones, although I think I'm going to have to cut a couple down just to fit them into place. So don't be afraid to cut them, right? Cut them and fit them where you need them. And I don't even think I'm going to need one on there because this cardstock is so heavy that it totally will hold in place. See that? And you can kind of tilt it like that. Oh, I think that's going to be so cute. Now what I have to decide is, do I want to have a little greeting on here? And let me think about that for a second. I recently purchased these sentiment strip dies from Gina K, and I've been wanting them for a while because Gina has designed a series of them and they all are going to work depth-wise with a lot of her greetings. So I almost want to look at one and maybe just do, you know, I could do hello sweet friend and then cut it out with this perfectly measured die. So let me get out my Misty so I can just stamp a greeting. The question is though, should I pick one of the cardstock colors from my ink selection, like maybe go with Passionate Pink or even Sweet Mango? Passionate Pink could be really cute, so I might do both. Let me grab some cardstock so we can stamp that out. I pulled two scraps here. One is Dusty Rose, or this is Passionate Pink and this is Dusty Rose, and honestly, I feel like when you have that sort of small little element of color, popping it with that color in cardstock is a great way to go. So I think I'm going to stamp and emboss on the Passionate Pink. And here I've got my Misty. I actually have a new Misty because I broke my old Misty. And one of the things that I saw my friend Mindy Egan do is to take the pad that comes in the Misty and put it under your door so that everything is nice and level and you're not putting undue stress on your hinges. I thought that was a really smart idea, so I'm going to be trying it too. And well, we'll let you know how it goes. But we've got this. We have, let's see, let's get our greeting out, and I'm going to do Sweet Friend. Just pop you right in the center, easy peasy. I'm going to pick that up with the Misty door. And I'm going to just rub my finger over this a little bit to condition it, get that little residue off from the manufacturing, and reposition this. I'm only going to stamp it down once, so I'm not too worried about it, but I will take my powder tool here. Oh, I think I got my bristles a little mucked up, and just add some powder. And that just removes static and oil so that when we stamp down with our sticky ink, that our embossing powder only sticks where we place it. If you ever stamp and your cardstock, when you sprinkle your powder on, the powder sticks everywhere, try some embossing powder, a powder tool of some kind, and that will help too. remedy that situation. All right, I'm just pressing with my fingers. I'm not even bringing in my stamp tool because I just want a very delicate impression of Sweet Friend. And that looks perfect. All right, and I'll grab my clothespin here. I'm going to use Gina's Fine Detail White Powder. Really holds the fine details of anything you are stamping with. And now you can see how nicely the powder just slips off. There's just a tiny little bit there. And if that happens too, just take a little brush. I like to use these angled shaders and just sweep it away. All right, that looks great. Let's just funnel this back in quickly, like that. I always like to wipe away any powder that landed on my mat. And let's see here, I'll do it upside down. Get my heat tool warmed up and we'll melt the powder. Okay. And that looks great. So now we'll grab the die. That's what's so cool about these is they're all the same depth. You just have to pick which one is going to work best with your greeting. Oh gosh, I love that so much, Gina. Tape that into place. Tape that into place. And now I will go run that through my die cut machine and we can start to build the card. The other thing that is very cool about the depth of these little dies, they're perfect for a thin foam square. And I love to use different depths of dimension when I'm creating cards, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have to trim them down, but you don't. And oh, one's upside down, and that will be great. So pick it up, bend it, and I'll just flip it over on this side and give that a nice press. So now I have this gorgeous panel. Isn't that cool? Oh, I love it. I'm going to have my hello kind of bursting out from side to side. So a little bit of the O and a little bit of the H. And then Sweet Friend is going to nestle right in there. I think that's really cute. So let's get a little of Gina's liquid glue though, just so that I can have a little wiggle room, right? In case I am not 100% committed to where I'm placing these down. We'll just take a little and I'll just put some on the foam squares like that. Okay, just gives a little wiggle room. Now, I do think a little angle is cute, and I do think just making the H pop like that, maybe up a little, like that. Okay, hello. Oh, that is so cute, maybe up a little. Okay, and now we'll take the backers off Sweet Friend, get a little corner there, and a little bubble. Come on now. A little bit there too, and a little bit there. All right. And now we'll just position our Sweet Friend so that it's kind of tucked right there, and I want it to be as straight as I can. So I think I'm going to grab one of my new little Misty T-squares here. Line that up. See? Yeah, that looks good. Hello, Sweet Friend. Oh my gosh, look at how cute that is. So it's one layer, right, with a gorgeous greeting. Now, should we add a little shine? Yeah, I think so. So to finish this off, I'm actually going to go 3 and 3. I just think sometimes I go odd, sometimes I go even. But as long as it, makes you happy and you like what you're doing, that's all that matters, right? Okay, let's get these on and go boop, like that. My timing's off a little. Did you notice that I have a new tip on my Studio Katia embellishment wand? You can order these separately, and I was concerned before because I was getting black marks, You can pick a different color, and someone told me about the white one, and whoever told me that, thank you. I ordered 2, boop, and now no more black boop marks on my white card bases. Boop. Just like that. And that is the finished card. There's so much you can do with this set, right? There are also dies to cut out all of the elements. This is one idea, but oh my gosh, how cute is that card? Look at that. Love how this turned out. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this inspires you to get out and create something beautiful today. I will see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.